The foundation was already poured. Cranes loomed over what used to be my backyard, a 7,000 square foot mansion rising like a monument to theft. And standing in front of it, smiling in a pink suit, was the HOA president, congratulating herself on her dream home. But she didn't know the truth. That deed? Forged. That land? Never hers. It was mine. And while she hosted champagne toasts, I was in a quiet office, signing documents that would erase her empire. Because when they steal your land, your legacy, your peace, sometimes justice doesn't knock. It kicks the door down. I bought the plot in 2003, 30 acres just outside Charlotte, North Carolina. Wooded, peaceful, a place I dreamed of building a home for my family. I was a schoolteacher then, saving every penny. The land had been in a black family's name since 1919, passed down quietly through generations. No fanfare, no lawyers, just trust. When they sold it, I made sure the deed was recorded, notarized, filed with the county. I even planted a sycamore tree at the corner. My marker, my promise. For years, nothing happened. I visited monthly, left tools in a shed, planned blueprints. Then in 2022, I arrived to find yellow tape, survey stakes, and a notice, future site of Willow Ridge Estates, exclusive gated community. My land was now part of a development. And at the center of it, a luxury mansion under construction, owned by none other than Diane Holloway, HOA president, real estate investor, and self-proclaimed community visionary. I went to the county office, pulled the records. My deed was still there, but so was another one. Same plot, same coordinates, but in her name. Dated 2 years prior. Signed by a notary I'd never met. Filed under a subdivision that didn't exist when I bought it. When I confronted the HOA, they called me confused. Said I must have misunderstood the boundaries. But this wasn't a mistake. It was erasure. The kind that's happened for generations. Black landowners quietly stripped of property through fraud, forgery, and silence. This time, the silence would end. I hired a lawyer, a no-nonsense woman who specialized in property restitution for black families. She found the cracks fast. The notary on Diane's deed had been suspended for fraud. The survey map used outdated coordinates. And the community vote that approved the development? Minutes showed only 7 residents voted, 6 of them relatives of the president. But the deeper we dug, the uglier it got. Diane had been buying up parcels around mine for years, always at low prices, always from elderly owners pressured into quick sales. One woman, 82, sold her land for $15,000 after being told it was going to be rezoned for industrial use. It wasn't. It became part of her estate. Then came the kicker, the original 1919 deed, buried in a basement archive. We found it, signed by a black farmer, witnessed by 2 neighbors, notarized in Gaston County. It had never been legally transferred. My purchase was valid. Hers was built on sand. We filed suit, not just to reclaim my land, but to dissolve the entire development's approval, to freeze construction, to force a public audit. The moment we did, the harassment began. My shed was broken into. Tools stolen. A dead raccoon left on my car. The HOA sent me a bill for trespassing on community property. I reported it all, but the police shrugged. Private dispute, they said. Meanwhile, Diane gave interviews, called me a grifter, said I was jeopardizing homeowners' dreams, donated to local charities, got a write-up in the paper, woman builds community from scratch. But I had something she didn't, proof, and a sycamore tree, still standing at the corner of what was, and always had been, mine. The courtroom was silent the day the judge ruled. After 6 months of motions, delays, and attempts to settle out of court, the decision came down. The deed in Diane Holloway's name was fraudulent. The development permit? Revoked. The mansion? Ordered to be evicted from the land within 90 days. But the judge went further. He cited a 2021 North Carolina law allowing restitution for historically disenfranchised landowners. And because my deed traced back to a black family pre-1950, I was eligible for financial compensation, not just for the land, but for decades of lost equity. The gavel fell. Diane stood up, face pale. Her pink suit suddenly looked like a costume. I didn't cheer. I didn't smile. I walked out and placed my hand on the sycamore tree. Within weeks, the cranes were gone. The mansion sat unfinished. The HOA dissolved. And the land? It was mine again. But I didn't build a house. I turned it into a community land trust, a space for black families to farm, gather, heal. a memorial for those whose land was stolen in silence. Diane moved away. The mansion was auctioned. And the story? It spread. Because sometimes justice isn't about revenge, it's about return. Today, that land is alive. Gardens grow where concrete was poured, children run through the trees, an annual festival honors Black landowners who never got their day in court. I didn't win because I was louder. I won because I was patient. And because I was patient, because I kept the receipts, because I knew my history. This wasn't just about one plot of land. It was about a pattern. A century of Black families losing property not through debt or neglect, but through systemic theft disguised as bureaucracy. And it's still happening. So ask yourself, who gets to belong? Who gets to build? Who gets to pass something down? Because land isn't just dirt. It's legacy. It's freedom. It's memory. If they can erase a deed, they can erase a people. But when you stand your ground, literally and legally, you don't just reclaim property. You reclaim dignity. If this story moved you, if it reminded you of a fight you've seen or lived, don't scroll away. Like this video and subscribe, because stories like this, they don't just need to be told, they need to be witnessed. And the next chapter of justice starts with you. Stay strong, stay loud, and never let them bury your truth.